Guys, we're back again today with Lone Star Grillz, and today we're going to do a smoked turkey. It's that time of the year, middle of Thanksgiving, so we're going to do a traditional smoked turkey on the Lone Star Grillz pellet smoker, and we're going to show you from start to finish how we do that bird. So first of all here, I've got a 15-pound bird, kind of middle of the road, not too small, not too big, kind of average size family bird here. I've gone ahead and I pulled out all the insides, the gizzard, the neck, everything. The little plastic handle here, I've taken it out. We don't need that. This is defrosted in the fridge. It takes several days, so don't do this the night before you want to start this process. I think this sat in the fridge for like 3 or 4 days before it actually defrosted all the way. So we've got our bird here. Next, most important step is the brine. So we're going to brine this bird. We've talked about brining before. Brining is very important for several of the different proteins, but it's most important for the turkey. What brining does is that's going to pull that moisture inside that meat. It's going to keep it moist while we cook it for that really long period of time, especially with this one. We're going to cook it low and slow. So we don't want it drying out. This isn't a brisket. This doesn't have marbling all through it. This is turkey. There's no fat in there. So we're going to do everything we can to make this as moist as possible. So for our brine, it's very simple. I know you can buy brines. We made our own. This is basically 1 cup of kosher salt, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup, give or take, of granulated garlic, a little bit of probably like 2-3 teaspoons there of that really coarse ground pepper, and just a little bit of rosemary. But you can make this your own. You can put whatever you want, as long as the main ingredient is going to be that sugar and salt ratio, and then the rest you can make your own. So what we've done with our brine, or what we're going to do, next thing, food safe container. So not all plastic buckets are food safe. This one is, so this one was specifically food safe. I ordered a food safe one. Stainless steel stock pot, cooler, any other food safe container, glass container, anything that's food safe, but it needs to be food safe because we don't want these salts to react with the container that this turkey's in. Now, once we do this, we're going to brine this turkey for roughly 1 hour per pound. This is a 15-pound bird, so roughly 15 hours. We don't want to go too long or too short. Too short, we're going to get 0 results. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, don't worry about it. That's not enough time. 2 days, 3 days, anything over that, 1 hour per pound, we're really flirting with too much time. We're going to risk the chance of it getting too salty. So we're going to take our brine here, and what I've got here, first of all, is 1 gallon of warm water. So I just took some warm tap water, not hot, just warm. We're going to pour that brine in there. I've got a whisk. We're going to whisk this up. The other thing is, don't fill this bucket up. This is like frying a turkey. Same thing, you don't fill it all the way to the top and then put the turkey in, because everything's going to overflow. So we're going to start with 1 gallon. We'll put our bird in. And it is almost covered with just the 1 gallon of water. Now, I've taken some ice, and I've got another bucket here. And the reason why I've used an ice is because we don't want that warm water on that bird for very long. The warm water is simply to dissolve the salt and sugar, and we don't want it to start cooking. And we don't want to raise the temperature above a food safe temperature. So we're going to put some ice water in here just to cover it all the way. So almost another ½ gallon on this one here. Now the top will go on this. Now we got to keep this cool. Now whether that's putting it in an ice chest with ice, or most of you have a beer freezer out in the garage, so this is going to go in my freezer, my refrigerator. So make sure you've got room before you do this. Move some shelves around. This is going to go in there. And then we're going to let this sit that roughly 15 hours, give or take. And then we're going to come back. We're going to show you the next step before we put this on the pellet smoker. All right, so we're back. It's the second step of this process. The turkey's brined, roughly 1 hour per pound. Remember, this was a 15-pound bird. So now we're ready. I've got it washed off. We went ahead and washed all the brine off. We've dried it as good as we can get inside and out. Want to make sure and wash that brine off just so it doesn't get too salty and that doesn't stay on there. That's already done its job. So the next step is we're going to inject this bird. Now I know we've already done the brine to help keep some moisture in there. The injection is to give flavor. Let's be honest, this is turkey. This doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. The rub we're going to put on the top is not going to penetrate all the way through that burb. So that's where we're going to use the injection. Now I know there's a million options out there and I've tried half of them. I've always come back to this for turkey. It's just the good old Tony Chachere's Creole butter. And then I'll take 2 sticks of butter, unsalted. I melt the butter down. I whisk it in with the Tony Chachere's injection just to thin it out and actually put some more butter in there. And then we're going to use that to go ahead and inject this burb. So we'll go ahead and start injecting this. Definitely want to hit these breasts up here really good. We're going to get this several times up in each breast here. We'll get these drums. Flip it over here, get this thigh. We're going to do this the same way we would do it as if we were frying this turkey. When you're doing this injection, you want to make sure to avoid anything that's large and granular, like think of big chunks of pepper. And you could add other stuff to this, but you don't want anything too large that's not going to fit through this small injection needle here. All right, now step 2 this morning, now that we've got this bird injected, is we're going to add a rub to the outside. Now you can use anything of your choice. This morning I'm going to use Holy Voodoo. This is a great Cajun style seasoning. It's great all-purpose. We put this on fries all the time, potatoes, but it's going to work real good with this. It's going to marry really well with that Cajun Creole butter that we've added in there. Now again, don't get too carried away. The rub is not going to penetrate through the skin. It's going to add some color, some seasoning, some flavor to the outside of that skin, which is great. You can, if you want, pull the skin back and you can add up under that skin and it will give you some flavor to the actual meat there. But by just doing the outside like this, it's not. Now the other cool thing about this with this injection is this is going to be a no-baste turkey or a non-baste, or we're just not going to baste it. That's another way to say it. That butter from the inside is going to baste it from the inside out. There's no need to squirt butter on the outside of the skin and let it roll off. That's probably not going to penetrate the skin either anyways, but we've injected it with that butter. There was 2 sticks of butter in there mixed with the Creole injection, and that's going to baste this turkey from the inside out. That's going to help keep it moist, number 1. Number 2 is the brine that we did when we brined this for 1 hour per pound. So let's go ahead, we'll get this over to the smoker and get this put on. So for this cook, we got this set up at 225. It's going to be low and slow. The cook time on this is going to be roughly 30 minutes per pound, 15-pound bird, so a 7.5 hour cook plus or minus. We're also going to use a meat probe. We're going to probe the breast, and we're going to make sure that breast gets to that 165. So that 30 minutes is a guide, but we're also going to have the fireboard monitoring our internal temp. We're not going to be here today. Today's a weekday. We're going to work here in a little bit, but we'll be able to monitor that from our phone. So if we have to come home a little early and get this pulled off, we will. If not, and we'll tell you about that at the end, what the actual time was on it. We're going to set this right here in the center, breast side up. This is the 36 model Lone Star Grillz pellet smoker. You can see that I could probably easily fit 3 of these 15-pound birds in here if I wanted to. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and get this closed. We'll come check on it this afternoon. All right, so we've gone ahead, we pulled the turkey off the smoker. Turkey's rested here, tented under this foil for about 20-30 minutes, and that's very important. We don't want to slice into that while it's still hot, fresh off the smoker. We want to let the juices redistribute, otherwise everything's going to run right out of it. Turkey cooked right at 7 hours, almost exactly, so just shy of 30 minutes per pound on this 15-pound bird. So let's go ahead, check this bad boy out. Nice crispy skin on the outside, beautiful color here. So we'll go ahead. Cut this breast off. Come up under the side here, slice it like that. Look at the juice inside of there. All that injection, all that Creole butter that we had in there. So let's go ahead now. Slice across the grain. Look at that just falling apart. Unbelievable flavor, especially for turkey, especially for the breast. You can taste all those flavors, that butter, the Creole sauce that we put in there. It's penetrated. It's going all the way through the meat here. You can see it all the way through here. The skin's got a ton of flavor. Cut here into this leg. Just look at the juice coming out of this. The brine we did. So the brine we did to pull that moisture in there, the injection that we did everywhere. You get a piece of this dark meat here. So look at the juice coming out of that. Unbelievable. For more information on the pit that we use to cook this on, the Lone Star Grillz pellet smoker, please check out our website at lonestargrills.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. And if you want to give us a call for more information on our products, the number is 936-494-3477.